Are you serious, man? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what up, though? I wasn't gonna do this, but I want you to see this, and I want you guys to hear this. Now, I want you guys to hear this from the very get.
Folks,
and these videos are not mine.
Institute held its annual conference in the nation's capital. Their movement is broadly referred to as alt-right, but the positions they embrace are white nationalist, supremacist, and many say absolutely racist. Unlike past gatherings, this meeting was energized by the election of Donald Trump. Here is some of what took place at the conference this weekend.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory! No one will honor us for losing gracefully. No one mourns the great crimes committed against us. For us, it is conquer or die. To be white is to be a striver, a crusader, an explorer, and a conqueror. We build, we produce, we go upward. And we recognize the central lie of American race relations. We don't exploit other groups. We don't gain anything from their presence. They need us and not the other way around. We are not meant to live in shame and weakness and disgrace. We were not meant to beg for moral validation from some of the most despicable creatures to ever populate the planet. We were meant to overcome all of it, because that is natural and normal for us. America was, until this past generation, a white country designed for ourselves and our posterity. It is our creation. It is our inheritance, and it belongs to us.
Here's what President-elect Trump's staff had tweeted in response to that controversial video. Quote, President-elect Trump has continued to denounce racism of any kind, and he was elected because he will be a leader for every American. To think otherwise is a complete misrepresentation of the movement that united Americans from all backgrounds. There were protesters outside the conference, and the U.S. Holocaust Museum issued a statement that said, in part, quote, Richard Spencer, the leader of the National Policy Institute, made several direct and indirect references to Jews and other minorities, often alluding to Nazism. The targeting of Jews was central to Nazi racist ideology. The Germans attempted to kill every Jewish man, woman, and child they could find. Nazi racism extended to other groups. By the end of World War II, the Germans and their collaborators had murdered 6 million Jews and millions of other innocent civilians, many of whom were targeted for racial reasons. The Holocaust did not begin with killing, it began with words. The museum calls on all American citizens, our religious and civic leaders, and the leadership of all branches of the government to confront racist thinking and divisive, hateful speech. Joining us right now is Richard Spencer, who they were just referring to. So, Richard, we had you previously on TV One. Have you back? First and foremost, when you said despicable creatures, who are you talking about?
I was talking about the lying media that have actually been lying about me for the last 24 hours.
So we say lying about you, what does that mean?
This is a message to you, Richard. Stop acting like we give a fuck that you're rich. Because we don't give a fuck about you. About your rich ass. We don't care about that. By your voice, I can tell you that you're a rich piece of scum that thinks because you got money and you got shit handed down to you like Trump, you think you know everything. But here in a minute, I'm about to expose that you don't know shit. That you're just going out here talking with a weak mind. And the only reason why I'm coming at you the way that you are, you had people salute the fucking Hitler fucking salute. You had motherfucking, you're talking like you know something. You uneducated, And believe me, I'm not mad at you, but I am pissed at you right now, bro. If you are a real white man, you would not be talking like that. Guarantee the fuck to. A real man, a white man, don't go out there and you know what I mean? We have our different opinions, but we are not going to sit there and judge someone because they are a different color. Now, I want you to hear your own stupidity, bro. You made yourself look weak. And you really are weak.
CNN claimed that I questioned whether Jews were people and things like that. We published the text of my speech. I did nothing of the kind. They're doing a wild exaggeration. They're worrying about fake news. They're engaging in fake news about me.
So why Heil Hitler then?
And first of all, if you're going to try to make a group, and you're talking about just you, I thought your group was a part of you. So, your team's gonna fail already, just to let you know. Because a team is not about I. It is about the team. You feel me? And I'm not talking politically correct, none of that shit. But I'm not talking to like you rich. And believe me, someone that's rich need to G-check that motherfucker. Just like they need to G-check Donald Trump. Because certain people, and they know who they is, they back me up. They got money like chaos, like on a daily. You feel me? You guys need to check these motherfuckers. Because they talking like they got a pair of balls, which they don't have. Because if their house burnt down, or shit came down, and they lost money, they ain't gonna know how to survive. They talk like they do, but in reality, they don't know shit. They gonna fall. And this Richard Spencer, bro, you need to chill the fuck out. You need to stop acting like you know shit, bro. Everything that you're saying, it ain't making no sense. I'm not even letting you guys see this, because, you know what I mean, I'm letting you guys hear.
Why the Nazi references? Why?
No one said Heil Hitler.
No, first of all, when we saw the video there, there were individuals there who were doing that. We've seen photos.
Did you just hear him? Nobody said hi Hitler. Hold on.
And therefore, you can't do something in fun and jest.
So
people. They're always called a collection of names: Nazi, KKK, Southern Confederate, etc. I think a lot of people just want to throw it back in their enemies' faces.
So it's totally natural for Americans to use a Nazi salute when America fought against the Nazis, fought against what they were all about. Why would you salute? Why would you appreciate that? Why would you not say, no, this is America? You don't do that in America.
Again, it's a moment of exuberance.
No. You use exuberance.
Look, I can't police everyone.
No. What you can say is, here's the question: are you an American?
Yes, I'm an American.
Are you proud to be an American?
Yes, I'm a proud
Do
citizen.
you believe that America should have beaten Nazi Germany in World War II?
I wish that we had avoided that conflict.
No. You answered my question.
Wait a minute. You wish we would have avoided that. But wait a minute. We won that. Do you believe that we should have won that? Is the question. He avoided that question. Like hardly. Like there's no denying that. Fact of the matter is, this guy don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's airbrushing shit. He's walking right into a death trap. And that's what these Nazi people do to people, man. It's making them dumb. Or these racist people. It making people dumb, bro.
Should America have beaten, you said we was avoided. Should America have beaten back Nazi Germany and Adolf Hitler in World War II?
Once the United States was in the war, yes, absolutely,
Okay,
have to win it.
So if we won it and we beat back Nazi Germany, why would you even say, well, in exuberance, people do that? Why would you not say, as an American, that is not what we do in America?
What you're saying is just logically incoherent. I mean, we're talking about a Second World War, and therefore you can't do something in fun and jest.
So you believe
five people or something?
No. Actually, hold on 1 second. 5 people. Shelley, play the video again.
There weren't 5 people in that video, just saluting.
Play the video.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
That's not 5 people. That's far more than 5 people. But I'm trying to understand, why would you excuse that as if that's no big deal? Oh, it's just sort of in fun. That's offensive to Americans. That's offensive to American soldiers. That's offensive to World War II veterans who actually fought in that war. How do you say, oh, that's exuberance?
Because that's what it was, and it's nothing more than that. This is what I would say, is that...
Are there any World War II veterans in your family?
Yes, actually, both of my grandfathers.
And both of your grandfathers?
Yes.
Would your grandfathers say, oh, that's exuberance?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, so your grandfathers wouldn't say, I fought against that. I fought where that's not done in America.
No. I don't think most people are like this. It's actually just the liberal media that's...
Wait a minute. Your grandfathers, both your grandfathers, fought in that war. And you're telling me that they would not say... They would not say, hey, I fought in that. Don't talk like that. I think they would.
Actually,
collective freakout.
No, actually, that was that question, collective freakout. If somebody wants to call themselves an American, they would then say, no, that's not American. So also, I want to ask you this here.
I'll actually agree. I'll find some common ground here. I do think that the alt-right, we've gone from being a movement that was not connected to the political mainstream, not connected to the political fray. We now are. People are paying attention to us. People are looking at us. And so I actually say yes. We need to start maybe knock some of that stuff off. We need to think of ourselves as a mainstream movement that's going to reach people, because we do have that power.
Okay, so are you white nationalists?
I don't use the term white nationalist. I like the term alt-right, first off, and I also like the term identitarian, because it gets at what I am, what I believe.
And what is that?
Identity is at the heart of my ideology. So
what's that identity?
Yeah, race is a foundation of that identity, undoubtedly.
Now race is simply a creation of mankind. That's a construct. It doesn't exist. I mean, my line is, I know who I am. First of all, I'm Roland Martin. I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm a man.
Do you identify as a black man?
Oh, first of all, I identify as a man.
Okay.
I identify as a man. No, actually, it's not sexist, because if a person is a woman, identifies as a woman. Okay. So I'm a man.
Wait a minute. How is saying that you're a man being sexist? This Richard guy must be a fake motherfucker, bro. Like, I don't want to have to say that there's real clan members, whatever, but he seems to me like he's just trying to get attention. And trying to be one of these high top. And I guarantee him being rich has something to do with it. You know what I mean? And no, I don't even think the money had anything to do with it. They said, look, dude, we're not going to give you a shot. So he went for the only thing with the white nationalists, just to make it somewhere. Because he's really not using his brain.
And I'm a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a Christian?
I'm a cultural Christian, yeah.
What the hell is that?
Well, many of us struggle with faith, but I'm part of a Christian.
Hold on. You can't call yourself a cultural Christian and then say I struggle with faith. Have you professed that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior?
No, I have in my life. I don't. I mean, look. Is this an imposition on me?
No. Actually, no. It's an interview, but see, when somebody tells me they're a Christian, and I'm
culturally Christian.
What is culturally Christian?
I grew up in a Christian background. I resonate with Christianity, and so on.
Okay, I'm asking again. Have you professed with your mouth that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior?
I have in my life, yes.
Okay, so that means that you're a Christian. So how is it that with what you espouse, how do you find that to be compatible with Christian ideals?
Most Christians throughout world history agreed with me that identity matters and that race is real and that they're part of an extended family. It's only this tiny slice of world history, like post-1965, that everyone thinks that Christianity is incompatible with identity.
Well, actually, if you use world history, there were people who actually used Christianity to justify slavery and the enslavement of people who look like me. And so
why are you a Christian?
Why am I a Christian? Because those people actually were false Christians. Those people were fake Christians. Those people probably were cultural Christians, where they somehow allowed culture to inform their faith as opposed to their faith informing their culture. But actually, I go back to the question I asked you.
For most of Christian history, there was feudalism, there was serfdom, there was slavery, there was identity, there was nationalism.
And those
all of these people unchristian, but you
No. Those are people who actually who chose to pimp the Bible as opposed to actually believe in exactly what Jesus Christ talked about.
All of Christians throughout world history were pimps.
No.
You are a true Christian.
No. What I'm saying is here, as a Christian, I believe in the Word as opposed to this false nonsense that most of those folks were. But they were also fake Christians because they used the Word to actually enslave people.
I'm so glad we've reached true Christianity in 2016.
First of all, you barely identify as one. So you say you cultural, you dance around it, and
I'm being honest.
It's around. No, I got
you.
A value? I got you. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you.
No, that's fine. But I still got to go back to this here. So are you a white supremacist?
No, I'm not a white supremacist. Absolutely, white supremacy means that a white person would want to rule other people.
Hold on.
Want to rule over other people?
He did not say. Let me take this right back. He just said, I'm not a white supremacist. Absolutely. He didn't say absolutely not. Just so you can hear that for yourself, we're going to take it back.
Christian history, there was feudalism, there was serfdom, there was slavery, there was identity, there was nationalism. And all of these people unchristian, but you
No. Those are people who actually who chose to pimp the Bible as opposed to actually believe in exactly what Jesus Christ talked about.
All of Christians throughout world history were pimps.
No.
You are a true Christian.
No. What I'm saying is here, as a Christian, I believe in the Word as opposed to this false nonsense that most of those folks were. But they were also fake Christians because they used the Word to actually enslave people.
I'm so glad we've reached true Christianity in 2016.
First of all, you barely identify as one. So you say you cultural, you dance around it, and
I'm being honest.
It's around. No,
Isn't that a value?
I got you. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you.
No, that's fine. But I still got to go back to this here. So are you a white supremacist?
No, I'm not a white supremacist. Absolutely. White supremacy means that a white person would want to rule over other people.
So you don't want to rule?
He just said absolutely. He did not sit there and say absolutely not.
I absolutely do not. Well, we've had white supremacy in our past, whether you think of imperialism,
But I ask you this. I go back to the question I asked you.
For most of Christian history, there was feudalism, there was serfdom, there was slavery, there was identity, there was nationalism. And all of these people unchristian, but you
No. Those are people who actually they need us. Who's they?
Yes.
Who's they?
The white people ultimately don't need other races in order to succeed, in order to be ourselves. Absolutely not.
So, how do you think America became the greatest economic nation without
not through black people?
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't because of free labor.
Are you talking about slavery?
No, I'm talking about slavery and also what happened after slavery, which Douglas Blackman talked about slavery by another name. So I'm trying to understand, when you say didn't need it, how do you think America became the greatest economy that it did? How do you think that happened?
Through the genius of Europeans.
How was the genius of Europeans when the fact of the matter is it was actually...
Listen to the way that he's talking right there. Obviously, Europeans. Listen to the way that his voice is carrying. He's someone that's never dealt with getting beat the fuck out of. He's been exposed to, oh, you can do whatever the fuck that you want. He's probably one of these kids that went around bullying people.
That supplied the economic means for America to do so. And that was a result of free labor from black people.
Look, the whole point here is that who creates these systems? Who creates these business models and businesses?
Slavery was a business model?
Well, yes, it was a business model, yeah.
And was that one that you like or dislike?
I dislike.
You dislike?
Yeah, I absolutely reject it.
Okay,
yeah.
so but you deny the reality, though,
no,
that's what allowed America to become the economic power, because America supplied 91% of the world's cotton. And so as a result of that, that's how America was able to fund the Industrial Revolution. It was because of free labor from black people.
The Industrial Revolution originated in Britain, and it originated in the countryside of Britain.
No. I said the money generated from that. But I asked you again, okay? You said we don't need anybody else.
No.
But the reality is, American history proves you wrong. The fact of the matter is, there is no great America. You can't sit here and talk about that greatness without other people making that happen.
We could have figured out another way to pick cotton.
Who?
I mean, white people could have figured out another way.
Y'all tried that, didn't work. Yeah,
we do it now. We've done it previously.
I don't know what books you read, but no, that's actually not what happened. But you said y'all would have figured it out, but you didn't.
Look, African slavery was an absolute disaster, socially and morally. I reject it. Okay? In terms of the 20th century, when America rose as a geopolitical power, when we had the greatest economy in the world and so on, that has nothing to do with slavery.
So you say we don't need anybody else. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, people of color not going anywhere. So what is your vision for America? That is white land and the rest of us can leave?
I think that white people, Europeans, formed the core of American identity.
So why don't you go back to Europe? You keep saying European.
I just said. Being a European isn't just a plot of land. Being a European is about blood and spirit. These people form the core of American identity. What it means to be American is ultimately what it means to be a white person here.
How so? Because
are essential.
Because the reality is here. Dr. King talked about,
and I would have maintained that.
Dr. King talked about it was black people who actually made America live up to the ideals that they wrote on the sheet of paper. That there were white Americans who talked about, we want the nation to be this. When the reality is, that's not what they were living up to. It was black folks who made that a reality when it came to the Constitution. When you say all men are created equal, we are a nation where it wasn't all men are created equal.
I myself am critical of the Founding Fathers. However, clearly they did not believe in multiracial equality. Clearly, if you look at the first...
And you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that. They do not believe that everyone's equal.
So you don't believe in multiracial equality?
No. I mean, I don't think anyone does, actually. I mean, do you really think that all people are equal in talents and identity and worldview?
No, that's not what that means. No. When you say all people are created equal, that means that the moment you are born, we're going to treat you in the same way as we treat everybody else. Now, what you do with your life, what you do with your talents is different. There are many areas I'm quite sure I'm far more talented than you. Yeah. It doesn't mean that you don't have talent, but what it means is that when you are born, we're going to be treated as equals equal American. So in your worldview, are you saying white folks should be treated as a greater American than if you're black or Latino or Asian or Native American?
At this point, I want white people to have the same rights that all other people do. The fact is, all institutions, in terms of legal rights, yes, everyone has the same thing. In terms of what institutions are actually doing, absolutely no. White people do not have the rights of minorities.
How so? In what?
I'll go into it. In terms of federal hiring, absolutely. Federal hiring is geared towards not hiring more white men.
Hold on. Say it again.
Federal hiring.
Let me ask you a question. How many white men in the United States Senate?
That's not federal hiring.
Question. How many white men in the United States Senate?
I don't know the exact numbers.
More than 80%. Sure. Okay. How many white staffers? See, you said hiring. That's hiring, correct?
Right.
How many white staffers in Congress?
A lot.
A lot. Define a lot.
I don't know.
It's in excess of 80%. So please show me how. No. That's federal hiring. It's federal hiring. So you say hold on. That's federal hiring. So I'm trying to understand something here. You saying like all of a sudden, oh my God, it's so rough for us.
Do you think that affirmative action is not at play of federal hiring?
Actually, hold on. Wait a minute.
Department on down. Give me a break.
Actually, do you know what the greatest affirmative action policy was in this country?
Slavery?
No, that wasn't affirmative action. Okay. That was free labor. The great affirmative action policy in America was the GI Bill. And do you know who benefited from the GI Bill?
White people.
Your grandfathers.
Yes.
Do you know who did not benefit from the GI Bill? The same black folks who fought alongside in World War II, who also bled for this country, and when they came back. So when you talk about affirmative action, that is the greatest affirmative action bill in the history of America. Do you know who's benefited greater from affirmative action policies? First of all, who created affirmative action?
White people, probably.
Okay, President Richard Nixon,
right.
1969, Arthur Fletcher was there as well. Who is the greatest beneficiary of affirmative action?
The greatest beneficiary? I would say African Americans.
You know, that's a lie.
Okay.
You have a girlfriend or wife?
Yes.
Is she white?
Yes.
She's the greatest beneficiary of affirmative action. White women have benefited more from affirmative action than anybody else in America. That's a fact.
Sexist here, Martin.
No, it's not sexist. That's a fact. So the fact is, so when you say affirmative action, white folks...
might be the case.
No, it's not might. White women have benefited from affirmative action more than any other group. So when you're saying, oh my goodness, affirmative action, whites are not getting hired in the federal government, that's a lie.
That's fine. Look, this is what I'm saying. Let's look at Silicon Valley. Every spring, these big companies, Apple, Google, Facebook, will release diversity reports. And they will basically say, we are focused on not hiring white men.
Really?
Yes.
Hold on one second.
Look at all the diversity.
Hold on. I'll say right there. Hold on one second. I'm going to go to a break. See, here's the problem, Richard. This is the problem when you're a smart black man who can read. Mm-hmm. Have you seen their diversity numbers?
Yes, whites are underrepresented in this corporation.
All right, when we come back, we're going to do a fact check for Richard here when it comes to Silicon Valley. Because, see, as y'all know, here on TV1, Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. has been talking about Silicon Valley. I've been right there covering this for the last 24 months. We're going to give him the facts when we come back right here, News 1 Now, TV1. All right, folks, back with our guest, Richard Spencer, president of the National Policy Institute. Says he identifies with the alt-right. Many others say he's a white nationalist. Richard, we're talking about Silicon Valley. According to this report right here from the federal government, top 75 Silicon Valley tech firms. Whites, 47% of the workforce. Asian Americans, 41%. Hispanic, 6%. African Americans, 3%. Now, women make up? No. So what you're saying is we don't have enough white people in Silicon Valley?
No, what I'm saying is white people, those numbers that you just read reveal that white people are underrepresented as a percentage in the population in Silicon Valley.
So are white people underrepresented when it comes to Fortune 500 CEOs?
No, not in terms of CEO.
Okay, are white people underrepresented when it comes to a board of directors members of Fortune 500 CEOs?
Probably not.
Are white people underrepresented when it comes to corporate offices of Fortune 500 CEOs?
This is called moving the goalposts.
No, it's not. No, this is the deal. What you're saying is here, okay, in this sector, oh my God, we only have 47% of white people. So what do you want? You want 70, 80, 90?
No, what I'm saying is that these corporations, by their own explicit admission, are trying to hire less white people and less white men.
So you're saying they're not hiring people who are the smartest?
No, I don't think they're hiring people merely because they're the smartest.
So you're upset that you're upset. No, I'm trying to understand. You're upset that 47% of white people work in Silicon Valley, but you have no problem with 90% of the Fortune 500 CEOs being white.
I see what you're saying.
No, I'm asking yes or no. Do you like and accept that 90%, 80+% of Fortune 500 CEOs are white men?
Look.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Do you prefer that?
Sure.
So what you're saying is what you want whites being majority in control of every sector in America.
What I want, look, I'm not an economic thinker in terms of politics. What I want are politicians similar to Donald Trump who really want to protect the people here, who don't think just in terms of global population.
Who's the people?
Who are the people?
Right.
Whites are still a majority in this country.
No. But you said the people. So he's black, she's black, he's white, I'm black, Latino. Are we in the people?
Yes, clearly you are citizens of this country.
Okay, so if we're in the people, then why can't we also have jobs?
I care about the country itself, but I really care about European Americans.
Okay, but
all of these institutions, these institutions are dedicated to discriminating against people like me. By their own admission they are.
If whites are dominating jobs in banking, if whites are dominating jobs on Wall Street, if whites are dominating hedge funds, if whites are dominating NFL owners and NBA owners, if whites are dominating the major sectors, how in the world can you somehow say, oh my God, it's rough for us white people out here? It's not. If you're saying that, how are whites dominating the number of jobs on Capitol Hill? How are whites dominating the number of jobs in the White House? How are whites dominating jobs all across America? And you're saying it's not enough white people, so stop hiring those minorities. They don't need jobs. We got to make sure us white people keep getting jobs. Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't surprise me at all that whites succeed. We have succeeded throughout the centuries. We are a people of great genius and ambition. So none of that surprises me. In terms of looking at all of these CEOs, a lot of these are older people. They're from a generation they come from a generation with a very different population. What I'm more worried about right now are younger people. These institutions are actively, explicitly trying to discriminate against them in terms of hiring.
How?
It's unfair. How? I don't like it. But even worse, this is moving towards a country that is not going to be the country that we want.
Well, no. You said the country that we want. I'm still trying to understand because you still haven't answered my question.
Because Europeans build societies that everyone wants to come to be honest.
Okay.
Where are the Syrian refugees?
Hold on, you said built it.
Debating, where are they going? They're going to Central Europe. They're going to Western Europe.
You said built.
Yes.
Who built the railroads in America that allow for us to have expansion out west? Who built that?
Yes, a lot of Chinese people.
You said the operative word there was built. Built. Who built? Okay.
Who designed them? Who had the genius to imagine railroads? Europeans.
The genius to imagine railroads. Okay.
Yeah.
But you said
are there railroads in Africa?
You said yes. You said built.
Why?
You said. Hold on. You said. First of all,
that is absolutely true.
First of all, the greatest genius when it came to the building of the pyramids. Do you know what?
Those are white people, by the way.
Who white people?
The Egyptians are not African. I'm sorry.
Do you know where Egypt is?
Yes, it's in North Africa.
Okay, stop. Stop right there. You just said that the Egyptians are not African.
Are white South Africans?
Wait. Yes, they are African. See, okay, to be African means you come from the continent of Africa. So if you come from the continent of Africa, that's who you are. So that means you're African. So you do know. Do you also deny science that man originated from Africa, or do you say that's false science?
What are you talking about? I mean, what are you referring to?
I'm talking archaeology. I'm talking biology. I'm talking science. In terms of where did man originate? White scientists.
Egypt was an amazing civilization. It was not created by black Africans. I'm sorry.
It wasn't? Who created it?
People who are white.
How are people?
You can actually look at art and they differentiate between races.
I got to ask you a question. How do you
from ancient Egyptian art?
You do know those were black people. You do know. You do know from science you can't get black from white. You can get white from black. You do know when it comes to evolution.
I see what you're saying.
Do you never studied science?
I see what you're. Yes, I have.
No, so I'm
not a scientist.
But man originated in Africa. Yes or no?
That is a consensus, yes.
Okay, so if man originated in Africa, which means that they were Africans, then all of a sudden, when you talk about the amazing works of the Egyptians, they were people of color. I know that's a little rough for you to handle, but I know you want to hold on to that, somehow thinking whites built the pyramids, but I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, we did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because, first of all, they were building things in Egypt while white Europeans were still in caves. That's a fact.
That's
a fact. Okay, sure. But I'm still go back to you insist that somehow that whites are not getting jobs in America and in this rough. Are you afraid of competition?
I am not afraid of competition. Competition can be good. That being said,
are you afraid to compete? Are you afraid to compete?
Hold on. Are you afraid of some other television station beating you? I mean, you're not. Okay.
You know why? No, you know why?
Because you're confident. That's
no. Not just confident. Because see, I have skill set. I understand what I do. See, but what you're telling me is
sounds like confidence.
No. What you're telling me is this here. Richard, here's what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like. I'm not a psychologist.
Can I finish my point?
But you're afraid. You are afraid that you now are going to have to compete. You've had such a head start. You've had an 80-yard head start in a 100-meter dash, and now you're upset that people are catching up.
Sure.
Why are you so afraid?
Sure, everyone likes to win. But to be honest, in terms of Donald, what's great about Donald Trump is that he hasn't been saying, oh, this is great global competition for all Americans, let's do it. No, he's actually said, I care about my people first. I care about
people.
He's referring to all Americans. When he says, my people first, America first, what he's saying is that he is going to help the people of this country first.
But you don't
he's
want
not
that.
going to throw them out to the wind.
But you don't want that. You don't want...
Yes, I do.
So you don't mind blacks and Hispanics and Asians, Native Americans getting jobs, doing well. You don't mind that?
Of course I don't mind that.
Okay, but you're so concerned that oh my God, whites are not getting hired when that's not true.
It's clearly whites are getting hired. My claim is that effectively every major institution in this country, from governmental institutions to corporations, are discriminating against whites and white men.
When you're majority white,
they literally talk about it. If you believe race doesn't matter and that we're all equal and so on, then the Apple Corporation should be 65% white. It's not.
Hold up. You say it should be 65% white, but if Apple is saying
tremendously overrepresented,
because maybe if Asians are going and studying in those sectors, that's why.
Right, but sure, but I mean, you're just begging the question.
No, I'm not begging the question. What I'm saying is this here: why are more white?
Why are they moving the sciences and not? I mean, why are Asians succeeding in science, whereas Africans aren't?
I went to Texas A&M. Why are more whites in agriculture?
We have a natural, tendency to do that. I don't know.
No, you don't. First of all, black people actually out there sitting picking cotton.
Black people created agriculture.
No, but we damn sure get to work. But here's my whole point here. Here's my whole point, which I'm trying to get you to understand.
Okay.
If you have more whites who are going into agriculture, again, I'm a Texas A&M University graduate.
I grew up in Texas.
Okay, where?
In Dallas.
Okay, which part of Dallas?
The white part.
Which part? There's a lot of white parts in Dallas.
Just Preston Hollow.
Yeah. I see exactly where your thought process comes from. That's why you have the white country clubs there as well, because they don't want other people in there. But again,
are there black churches, black country clubs?
Or the black churches, black country clubs where you have black people who play. But also,
aren't there black institutions that are just for you?
No, it's not just for us, because the fact of the matter is,
churches, those are just for you guys.
No, actually, no.
That's great.
But actually, no, it's not, because there are black churches where you can come if you want to, doesn't matter. And just like you have a white church, you can come. That's my point, but that's what it is. So you're factually incorrect. Here's my whole point. When I talk about agriculture, there are more whites who are going into agriculture. Why? Because that's the area they're going into. So if Asians are going into a particular area, that's where they're going.
You're begging the question. All I'm saying is, why are Asians succeeding at these technical fields?
Because
why
they're working in it.
Because you're just begging questions. Like, at some point...
Why are whites succeeding in agriculture?
Let me finish. I'll ultimately get to this. It's about human nature, and it's about their unique gifts. Asians have
unique gifts?
Yes, East Asians have a higher, on average, IQ than Europeans. It's remarkable. It doesn't surprise me that they succeed at math. They succeed in science. Oh, that's a terrible stereotype.
No, I'm not using stereotypes.
It is what it is.
All I'm saying is here, Richard, the fact of the matter is here.
This is actually why I would want to restrict immigration of East Asians. It's not because I think I'm afraid of them. I actually respect them. I respect their civilization. It's about protecting my people. That's what it's about.
But here's the people. When you keep saying my people, then you say all Americans when you're not talking about it. Here's the reality, Richard. The reality is this here.
You have to navigate between people you care about and all.
I got you. Here's the deal, Richard. We're not going anywhere. And see, Richard, it's about to be a little tough for you. But a little tough for you, Richard, because see, you and your people have had a great head start. Tremendous head start. 20-odd Africans arriving in 1619.
Who gave us this head start?
One second. 16. But see, that's what I'm saying. When you have a head start, it means you're scared to compete. See, I know some other whites out there who are not white nationalists, who are not afraid of competition, who are not afraid of this. But here's the reality. Not going anywhere.
Right.
And you might want to suck that up. And I know it's rough. But I suggest what you should be doing, Richard, preparing your generation for a world of competition where you have to actually, where you don't get to start your mom and dad gave you. Don't start, maybe not 80 here, but 30. But you know what? You may train harder, and we gonna catch.
We're gonna win.
You're not gonna win.
Jordan, I want to tell you, you got to prove yourself. You with a bunch of ridden silly whites all your life. And we are waking up, recognizing who we are, and see an amazing future. You better get ready.
Right now, Richard. Here's the deal. 1619. North Africans around Fort Comfort, Virginia. Okay? 19. 97 years. Trust me, we're resilient. We're not going in. And I will tell you here, and as my Vernon Woods said in 1937, we will hell freeze and then we will on the ice. You better work out. Fight on your thanks.
Kickstart at 7. News you need perspective. Now with Martin. Day morning at on TV.
Voted black women. A black was a 9 for President Rock 2000. Same thing. Trump so is after staying for years to a president. Johnson, we call him John. He should please focus